Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Exceptional Conservative Show live for the nation's capital. Listen, we are praying for Eric Weaver and his family. Eric Weaver, today, he is the executive director of the National Association Advancement of Returning Citizens here in Washington, D.C. And you can get in contact with him at naardc.com. We reached out to him. We really wanted him to come on tonight to talk about those things which were necessary for those who were attempting to return from prison to the regular life in America. We wanted him to come on and talk about that. Unfortunately, his family was solemnly remembering the death of their own son 1 year out. And so, thank you. We send our condolences and our prayers to he and his family. I know that there are lots of people who wouldn't come on a conservative talk show from Washington, D.C. because of political biases and prejudices. I hope that's not the case, because you know what? Our society requires of all of us its participation. And while we may not share the same creeds, the same values, the same principles, we do share the same earth. And that justice must be done in it. And part of that justice is understanding the life of the individual who has lost it, maybe for a decision that they intended or not intended, but because of the law are serving their time behind bars. And once they have served their time behind bars, they should be able to come back into society without there being a great many injustices to them. However, we talked about some of the things that people face in terms of returning from prison. Culture shock being one of them. The other thing is depression. But as we left off, we talked about frustration and communicating it. It is freaking frustrating for any man, and this is the heart of a man. Men want to provide for their families. Men want to make money. Men have always been told that they were worthless and shiftless if they didn't provide for their families. And so many individuals find the fast buck in the street a way of doing so. But when they come back home, their hearts being changed, many of them want to get into the workforce. They just want an opportunity. They just want a shot. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating that when you went to prison, she was once your girlie, and now she doesn't want to have anything to do with you. And you can't see your kids anymore. She lives someplace else. You live here. It's frustrating. It's frustrating when after 6 or 7 months you're still sleeping on the couch and mom and dad are beginning to say, you know what, this ain't right. No, you can't come in when you feel like it. No, you can't run the street no more. It is frustrating when you want to drink a beer, but you know that's the road into where you once were. Frustration for both you and your loved one is expected at the stage of your relationship. In fact, any stage. Your loved one may face frustration in their adjustment to living in a home, troubles with vulnerability, their employment search, treatment, and culture shock. You will also face frustration with the changes that occurred during the incarceration. Many times, they may not leave incarceration the same person you envisioned. You and I both know that while the world changes you, the world inside the prison changes you even more sometimes. The best way to improve feelings of frustration is through communication. But let this be a lesson to you as well. There may be a group out there, like the National Association Advancement of Returning Citizens, or other returning citizens groups like Prison Fellowship, in which you have a mentor who will walk with you. There might be a former prisoner in your church, might be a deacon, might be a minister, might just be a fellow brethren who can mentor you along the way and say, listen, I know where you've been. I can't make decisions for you, but I can be an ear. I can hear you. Talk to each other. And the key thing is talk, not yell. Yelling, we're not communicating. Talking, we are. And if you have a problem finding someone, find someone to mediate your talk so that you can both convey what you're feeling and thinking without breaking each other's bones and hearts. Here's number 4. Manage your anger. Manage your anger. In prison, aggression and anger are part of life. It sets you apart. It protects you. It keeps you from all hurt, harm, and danger. But outside of prison culture, such things end up taking you right back to whence you came. Whenever you feel angry, encourage your loved ones to take a step back. And ladies, if he's yelling at you, if he's telling you, please step back away from me, this is not a moment to advance your victory. Listen to what he's saying. No, gentlemen, you cannot always run from your situation, circumstances, and conditions. Sometimes you need to hear the truth from people, but never, never corner anyone. It doesn't work well. The ending is not good. Give yourself a chance to calm down. Try to discuss and isolate the cause of the anger. Is it because you're frustrated? Is it because you know she's right, but you don't want to admit she is? Is it because you're doing the best that you can, but things are just not working? Yeah. Try to find it. She's stepping on me because she know I can't do nothing. The sense of vulnerability. Find fellow brethren that you can talk with to help you get through this. You're going to have to also learn to deal with rejection. You're not the same person you went into prison as. The people on the outside are not the same people anymore either. Rejection is going to come in many forms. Friends, families, girlfriends, wives, ex-wives, children, employers. You're going to need to learn how to deal with rejection. And I want you to understand that failure does not identify you. Failure is a part of life. We all fall down. We all get the rejection letters when we apply for jobs. We all have sometimes more month than we do money. But learning how to maturely deal with rejection will separate us from making decisions that will lead us back down a pathway from the journey of returning citizen to the journey of repeat offender. You're going to have to also resist negative influences and agree that they are negative influences. There's always someone out there who knew you when. Yo, man, I knew you. No, we like that. Remember? There are lots of people who remember. But I'm going to tell you to follow Christ. Give your life to Christ and find an organization like Prison Fellowship or some other organization where the brethren have standard values that you can believe in and can walk with you in the process. Is it going to always be easy? No, but you're going to have to resist going back. It's easy going back. Trust me, it's very easy going back. But you're going to have to resist those negative influences. And yeah, the money's easy, but where'd the money get you the last time? Also, here's the other problem: addiction. Some people say they dealt with their addiction in prison, and the way you dealt with it is you got more addicted to something else. The greatest drug you can ever have is your love for Jesus Christ. Man, I got things I gotta deal with stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? It makes me feel good. Really? Addictions are incredibly difficult to work through without support. Your loved one will need your emotional support, love, care, and guidance to help them. I'm going to encourage you to find someone who is a licensed individual to help you through your addiction. It is far better for you to lay down that vial, that needle, that blunt, than to pick it up and continue the process that separates you from the true success that you can have in life with your family, with your friends, with a new employer. Your love for life has got to outshine your addiction to a drug or a way of life. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the things that many people deal with when they come out of prison. When we come back in the second hour here, we're going to talk about some of the obstacles to their successes, not just the ways to help your loved one adjust to life after prison, but the things that you need to look for and the things they need to look for and the ways to overcome them. Ladies and gentlemen, people always ask me, why do you stop? You're on the road, Ken. We're in the second hour. You always do this. It's very simple why I do what I do. It's not important that you know where your children are. What's very important is that your children know where you are.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children